Good morning, students, and welcome back to my class again. So we are starting today another chapter, and the chapter is chapter number 4. So in chapter number 4 we will get operating system. So students, last class I gave you a rough idea of operating system, isn't it? I told you that operating system is a system software. So it's a software without which a system cannot run. So here today in today's class we will go in details. We will read here, we will study here, we will discuss here in details what is operating system and what are its functions. Fine. So let's start the class. Okay students, so let us see what are the main topics we will get in this chapter. So we will get what is operating system, functions of operating system, and different types of operating system. So in this session we will do the first two topics, that is what is operating system and functions of operating system, and we will do another session for this chapter where we will cover different types of operating systems. Fine. So let's start. So students, please see, have a look in the picture given. In the picture you can see that there are 4 labels, and on the top you will find the user, and at the last you will find the hardware. So we can see here, by looking at the diagram, we come to know that user cannot directly communicate with the hardware. Why? Because hardware is a machine, yes, and the machine do not understand our language, or we cannot understand hardware's language. So we need someone in the middle who will help us to communicate. Fine. So operating system is something which help us to do that. It translate, or it helps in communicating. It translate our language into hardware, and hardware's language it shows us in a format which we can understand. Okay. So here you can see the user want to do any work. So the user is opening application, but the application cannot run. The application need an environment to run, and that environment is provided by the operating system, and the operating system is directly communicating with the hardware, making the hardware do the work. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Suppose we need to work on Microsoft Word. So I am the user here. I am opening Microsoft Word. So to open the Microsoft Word is telling the environment, finding an environment, whether it is there or not, whether it can run or not. It is only possible if operating system is there. So it is running. And for Microsoft Word, we need to feed information or write something using the keyboard. So the operating system is giving us the hardware, the keyboard to write on. Fine. So these are the uses of the operating system. Operating system is nothing but it is a software. It is a collection of programs which act as an interface between the user and the hardware. So that is operating system. All right. So next let's see the functions of operating system. So the main functions of operating system are process management, memory management, input output management, security management, device management, and file management. And now we will discuss one by one all these functions in details. So to know about process management, first you should know what is process. So whenever we run any program, then after its execution, we do not call it program, rather we call it a process. Fine. So process is nothing but the running state of a program. So now onwards we will call it as a process, because we will talk about it in its running state. Now a computer can run more than one programs at a time. So the processes needs the CPU to run. Yes. So how much time one program or one process will get the CPU, for how much time the CPU will get by the one process, and after that the second process, that everything is seen by the operating system. So what does the operating system do? The operating system schedules some time for each of the processes. So suppose 3 of the programs I have opened Microsoft Word, I have opened music, and then I am also surfing internet. So for all these 3 things we need the CPU, otherwise no application or no program will run if we do not have the CPU. So the operating system will schedule the time of the CPU so that each of the program get the CPU for some time. Okay, it is not that or if all the three programs are running at the same time. We feel that all the three programs we can run at the same time, but it is not true. The CPU, the first program, the first process will get the CPU for some time. Again, there will be a break for the first program, and the CPU will go to the second program and it will run the second program. Again, that program have a break, and the third program will get. Like that, the CPU keeps on running between all the programs. Okay, and that the time is so small that it happens in blink of our eye, so that we do not have any idea about that. We think that all the processes are running at the same time concurrently, but it is not so, and the process has been managed by the operating system. Okay students, so the next function is memory management. So any program before running, it has to be loaded into the RAM. Suppose I want to use Microsoft Excel. So first of all, it is saved in the C drive, isn't it? Means it is saved in the hard disk. But from the hard disk, it cannot be accessed by the CPU because it is very time consuming. So from the hard disk, the software has to be taken and it has to be loaded in the RAM, primary memory, and from the RAM, very less time is needed to run by the CPU. So it takes and run it. Fine. So that is memory management. Now when 3 or 4 applications are running together, so for how much time each of the application will get the RAM, get to be loaded in the RAM, so that is memory management, and that management is done by again operating system. So that is memory management. Next is input output management. So input output devices, different input output devices has different characters. Like this keyboard, it is an input device, mouse is an input device, monitor is an output device, again printer is an output device. Do you think all have the same characteristics? No, all have different characteristics. They perform different functions, and also they have different device drivers. So students, in the last class I told you what are device drivers. Device drivers are the softwares which are needed to run any device, like we have brought a printer, so we need to install the device driver or software that come along with the printer to run the printer. Yes, so in the device driver means some instructions were there. So those instructions the operating system, the computer needed to recognize that hardware and to run that, to recognize the device and to run that. So what happened, what is the function here performed by the operating system? Whenever any of the process need any of the input or output device, the operating system send a request to its device drivers, so that the device drivers help in performing the work smoothly. Suppose I am here working in Microsoft Word and I need the keyboard. Whenever I need the keyboard, the operating system will send a request to the device driver of my keyboard, and that device driver will start working and it will help in performing my work smoothly. So that is input output management. Next is security management. So students, you know security management, using operating system feature, we can give here passwords, or we can create different accounts which have different accessibility, what we can say, permissions. Fine. So that is security management. So the Windows has different security management levels. Okay, next is device management. Again, device means what? Input output devices. So the programs or the processes while running, they need some of the input or output devices. So to manage those input or output devices, suppose two of the application are running and both the application need the keyboard at the same time. Now who will use the keyboard and for how much time? So the first process will get the keyboard for some seconds, again the second process will get for some seconds. So that sequence or that scheduling is done by the operating system. Next and last, the file management. So whenever we need to save anything in the computer, it is saved as a file, as a form of a file, and it is managed by the operating system. So operating system has it manages all the files and folders properly. Okay, so these are some of the important functions of operating system. And students, I hope that you have understood what I have taught today, and if you have any doubts, you can comment below down. And students, please, you see the presentation and this video properly, and in the next session we will discuss we will take some more topics like different types of operating systems. Again, that also has some what we can say, some subtopics which we will cover in the next session. So for today, thank you.